Welcome to Learning Shorts by the Grandfamilies and Kinship Support Network, a national technical assistance center. In Learning Shorts, we address your toughest questions about kinship and grandfamilies in bite-sized pieces. In today's episode, we're going to learn about Southwest Idaho Area Agency on Aging's Kinship program, a holistic support for the whole family. My name is Leland Kiang, and I manage US Aging's partnership with the Grandfamilies and Kinship Support Network. I will be narrating today's episode. Before I start, I would like to thank the staff of the Southwest Idaho Area Agency on Aging, including Director Raul Enriquez and Community Care Program Supervisor Julie Torresani. I'd also like to give a special shout out to Kinship Resource Coordinators Charlie Hahn and Elva Villarreal, who sat with me for multiple interviews and whose knowledge, passion, and patience have been invaluable to creating this learning short. So without further ado, let's start learning about Southwest Idaho Area Agency on Aging's Kinship program. The Kinship program began in 2019 and provides holistic support for kin caregivers and their families. A kin caregiver is a relative or close family friend raising children whose biological parents are not available. Specifically, the program provides wraparound services including case management and support groups, which the Southwest Idaho Area Agency on Aging calls Idaho Relatives as Parents, or IREP. It also includes family events such as picnics and roller skating. All services are provided in English and Spanish, and all services are offered at no cost to families. Let's get into the details of the case management component. Charlie and Elva, the Southwest Idaho Area Agency on Aging's two kinship resource coordinators, support over 150 kinship and grandfamilies. They visit each family, conduct comprehensive assessments of the family's needs and strengths, and then connect them to community resources that can help. When community resources don't exist, in their words, they shake some trees to create resources to fill the needs. They also do a lot of listening. They call the kin caregivers monthly, asking about their needs, if they want to talk, or even if they just want a shoulder to lean on. Where possible, family visits and assessments are conducted in the home. One kinship resource coordinator said she prefers meeting families in their home because she gets to see their environment. Seeing their environment, she explained, can give clues about needs a family may not verbally identify. Some clients, however, don't want to meet at their homes, so the kinship coordinators meet them where they feel comfortable, in parks, at truck stops, wherever the kin caregivers feel at ease. Both kinship resource coordinators have lived experience as kin caregivers. One kinship resource coordinator provided primary care to her grandchildren, the other to a great niece and nephew. Both also stress the importance of having lived experience as a means to better support and relate with the families. Elva, who supports the agency's clients who speak Spanish, says that being a part of the Latino community gives her insight into her clients because she knows their language, traditions, and cultural values. Charlie, the other kinship resource coordinator, agrees that having lived experience as a kin caregiver often makes it easier for her clients to relate to her, to trust her, and to accept referrals from her. Both kinship resource coordinators additionally emphasize that staff also need to know the government systems which they're helping their clients navigate. One kinship resource coordinator used to work with the Department of Health and Welfare. The other said she learned about community resources the hard way, by needing them. Let's talk about the Idaho Relatives as Parents Peers support groups. Southwest Idaho Area Agency on Aging's two kinship resource coordinators run several Idaho Relatives as Parents peer groups, also called IREP for short. In-person groups, including a group for Spanish-speaking kin caregivers, meet at various locations in southwest Idaho. An online group supports kin caregivers throughout the state. As with all the services offered by the Kinship program, all the groups are provided without cost to the families. All groups also welcome both older and younger kin caregivers. Meetings are semi-structured. Guest speakers present on topics such as community resources, legal and guardianship issues, internet safety, and children's activities. The group members select the topics to be presented. The Kinship Resource Coordinators also ask group members for their input on how the meetings should be run and where to meet. When researching guest speakers, the Kinship Resource Coordinators look for speakers who can motivate the kin caregivers. The kin caregivers, one of the Kinship Resource Coordinators explains, are doing a tough job and sometimes need to be reminded of what a wonderful job they're doing in a tough situation. In the Spanish language group, the kin caregivers also share a meal. It's a treat for them, the Spanish language kinship resource coordinator notes. It relieves them of the responsibility of cooking for one night. Also, food, the coordinator says with a laugh, always tastes better when someone else cooks it. In addition to dinners, the Spanish language group plays games. Specifically, they play a game called Loteria, which I'm told is a lot like bingo. These games give group members an opportunity to have some fun, bond with one another, and relieve stress. In fact, the Spanish language kinship resource coordinator adds, the games are a big draw for the group. One group member reportedly told the kinship resource coordinator that she loves Loteria and wishes she could play it every day. The group member comes to the peer group meetings, she said, in part because she enjoys them. Let's talk about the kinship program's family events. Family events are an important part of the Southwest Idaho Area Agency on Aging kinship program. These events, I'm told, elevate the whole family. Kin caregivers, the kinship resource coordinators explain, often go from being the fun aunt or uncle or the doting grandparent to becoming a parent or disciplinary figure in the lives of the children they are raising. They go from thinking how they can provide an entertaining afternoon to worrying about meeting the children's daily needs. These family events, the kinship resource coordinators tell me, remind kin caregivers they can still have fun with the children. Family event activities include picnics, roller skating parties, dances, and more. To pay for these events, the kinship resource coordinators reach out to the larger community. They recruit volunteers to help run the events and partner with local nonprofits and businesses to donate door prizes or provide in-kind assistance. One nonprofit called the Mayfly Project took the children of peer group members out fly fishing. They mentored them, taught them how to fly fish, and gave them equipment to continue fly fishing on their own, all donated and so at no cost to the kin caregivers. Another nonprofit, I'm told, provides no-cost basketball and soccer clinics for the children, and soon will be offering a financial health clinic for teenagers. Now let's talk about how the Kinship program finds kinship and grandfamilies to participate in the program. The program's kinship resource coordinators conduct a lot of outreach to find families and to educate the public about the program. They attend back-to-school events, community festivals, comic conferences, and other places where families go for information or for fun. They also post program flyers anywhere they can. Almost every community, the Kinship Resource Coordinators note, has a community bulletin board. Sometimes it's in a grocery store, sometimes it's in a post office or library. One Kinship Resource Coordinator adds she has a backpack full of business cards and flyers, so she's always ready. The Kinship Resource Coordinators also are not shy about looking for ad hoc outreach opportunities and approaching people in their daily lives. While grocery shopping, one coordinator says if she sees an older adult with children, she'll ask them if they are a full-time caregiver. If they are, the coordinator takes the opportunity to share about the kinship program. I asked the kinship resource coordinators what advice they'd give other organizations looking to reach more kinship and grandfamilies. When setting up a table at a community event, the coordinator suggests make sure your banner and other information materials are tailored to the event. You don't want to have a banner labeled aging services at a school event, they say, because you won't attract any families to your table. The Kinship Resource Coordinators also advise developing key relationships with community leaders, school staff, local news editors and broadcasters, and then educating them about the needs of kinship and grandfamilies. Once the community knows what the need is, one Kinship Resource Coordinator stated, the community is really good at stepping up and helping. But, the coordinator adds, it takes someone going out and telling the community about the need before the community responds. I also asked the Kinship Resource Coordinators to share advice on replicating their program. First and foremost, the Kinship Resource Coordinators recommend that staff have passion for the work and compassion for those they serve. They also recommend that staff know the target population, know their needs, their strengths, their language, and culture. To better support Spanish-speaking kin caregivers, the coordinators recommend that staff know how to read and write Spanish as well as how to speak it. Some of the program's older Spanish-speaking clients, they tell me, don't know how to read or write Spanish and sometimes need help reading or completing forms. Staff, I'm told, also should know their community. They should know where the resources are and who to reach out to when more resources are needed. The Kinship Resource Coordinators further recommend that peer group facilitators and/or case managers have lived experience. As one Kinship Resource Coordinator puts it, it can be so much easier for the kin caregivers to take advice from somebody who's been there, has been in the trenches, and knows what's what. A sense of humor, the other coordinator adds, also helps. Additionally, the Kinship Resource Coordinators recommend advocacy. Advocate for your clients, advocate for more resources, advocate with community leaders, nonprofits, private companies, and faith communities. Waving to get my attention, one of the Kinship Resource Coordinators says again, passion. Don't forget to tell the people watching the learning short that the staff must have passion. This concludes this Learning Short episode about Southwest Idaho Area Agency on Aging's Kinship program. Thank you for watching Learning Shorts by the Grandfamilies and Kinship Support Network. We hope this episode inspires you as you develop or improve your kinship and grandfamily support program. Please visit us on the web at www.g as in George, k as in kangaroo, s as in Sam, that's gksnetwork.org. If you have questions about the network, please email us at info@gksnetwork.org or phone 202-289-3979. The network is supported by the U.S. Administration for Community Living, or ACL, under the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, or HHS, as part of a financial award totaling $9,950,000, with 95% funded by ACL and HHS, and $523,684, or 5% funded by non-government sources. The contents are those of the authors and do not necessarily represent the official views nor an endorsement by ACL, HHS, or the U.S. government.